What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni and Monster CFC, back again on this channel. He has been on this platform before. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. But if you want to follow Monster, make sure you go down there in the descriptions. You will find all of his social media details there, all clickable links. So make sure you give my brother a follow. I promise you, entertaining stuff. And as well, for Chelsea fans, this dude is a man of the people. I'm not going to spoil it too much. You got to follow him and see exactly what I'm talking about to understand. So make sure you follow him. I promise you, you will be spoiled by Monster. And also, as well, importantly, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff with the Man Knows Football. We are coming up to 1,000 subscribers, real quick. So we really appreciate your support. But we are here today to sum up Chelsea's transfer window business of this summer. I thought I would ask Monster's opinion on how it's gone this summer. So, Monster, talk to me. How do you feel after the window closed, man?
I think it was a good window, innit? Because unlike most people, to me, we sorted out our priorities, innit? We had about 2 to 3 priority positions we needed to fill. The striker was number 1. The central midfielder was number 2. And then the number 3 position was the centre back, depending on if Kurt Zouma left or not. Now, with Kurt Zouma leaving, we're thinking, all right, we need a centre back to come in. Obviously, that centre back was going to be Koundé. But then young Chalobah kind of threw a spanner in that work. Do you get what I mean? He kind of, announced himself and, let it be known to the manager and the hierarchy at Chelsea. Like, what about me? I want to be here. I want to play football. So him doing that now, it kind of put the Koundé deal on a back burner where, it wasn't a priority anymore, innit? So I feel like he's with that being said, Koundé can wait till January or wait till next summer. So he's not needed right now. Do you get what I mean? He's not needed right now.
100%. No, I agree with you, because for me, the way we've done business, even in other windows, is that if we really want a player, we would have had it done. But then there was rumors that were coming out that, Sevilla done a U-turn on the deal. Well, not really a U-turn, but they went back on the agreement and they wanted like an extra 10 mil or whatever it was for the player. Personally, I could see why Chelsea would kind of back off, because if that was actually a reason, then it will set precedent for other clubs if they cave into that. So they've got to sort of maintain their position to let other clubs know that we're not really the place where you can be doing that. Once an agreement is done, an agreement is done. We don't go back on the agreement. See what I'm saying? So with that, if that's also the case and that's true, then yeah, that's understandable. So obviously, Koundé, we weren't able to get him, but I agree with you with the Trevor Chalobah situation. I think he definitely has come through and he said, well, hold on a minute here. I can do a job. I'm an academy boy and I'm just getting on with my job quietly. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Saul, obviously last minute drama in that one. I honestly thought it would have been Tchouaméni. I kind of put to bed the whole Declan Rice situation. I just didn't even put that as a thing this summer because of his price tag. But were you surprised to see Saul come in the last minute?
No, I wasn't surprised, because obviously, like months before, obviously the deadline day, well, a month before or so, people were saying that Chelsea were linked with Saul. Do you get what I mean? And so there was talks about Chelsea being linked to Saul from time ago. I just didn't take it serious because I knew we wanted Rice or Tchouaméni. But then obviously as the window started to come to a close, reports started saying that Chelsea want to allow Tchouaméni to kind of develop for another 12 months, as Fabregas obviously stated as well, because Fabregas did a Q&A on his Instagram one a couple months ago, and they were asking him about Tchouaméni and how he feels about him coming to join Chelsea. And Fabregas said, he's a great player, can play across all 3 positions in midfield, but it might be best for him to stay another season at Monaco with him and develop, and then maybe next season could come to Chelsea, innit? So Matt Law stated it, and Matt Law worked with Fabregas on the Telegraph, so I'm guessing he got that from Fabregas as well. So with that being said, yeah, you could see why Chelsea went and got Saul. It's a win-win situation, because if it doesn't work out, we send him away back to Atletico Madrid. And if it works out, we buy him for cheap for 30 million pounds. So there's no losses in that, if you ask me, unless he's like horrible, like just really bad. Then there's a loss there. But yeah,
I couldn't believe it when I saw the price at the end of the loan. I was just like, how did we pull that off? Yeah, I understand that Saul hasn't had the best by his own words, the best 2 seasons. He hasn't really had it. But if there's a manager in world football that can kind of turn that around, I mean, we've seen Tuchel do it with before he came in. A big portion of the Chelsea fan base didn't want to see Rudiger at the club anymore, Marcus Alonso at the club anymore, one or two others. But
Jorginho.
George, exactly. Prime example being Jorginho. How can I forget Jorginho? But
some fans were saying, sell Kante. He's old at 29 years old.
Yeah, he's getting injury prone, blah blah blah, all of that stuff, all that madness. But it's one of them ones where, like, I believe that Tuchel can actually turn it around for Saul, and we can start to see the best in him to come. Now, if we do exercise that option to buy him at the end of that season, do you think that puts the Tchouaméni deal in jeopardy, or you don't think so?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I think Chelsea's number one priority in that midfield position is still Declan Rice. If I'm being honest with you, innit? He's number one. Tchouaméni's if we can't get Rice, innit? If we buy Saul, does it put a move for one of those guys in jeopardy, or does it make Chelsea wait for another season to get him? Maybe when Kante or Jorginho is, going or whatever. Because let's be honest, they're not getting any younger. We know Kante is getting older, and we know Jorginho wants to return to Italy. So potentially, could one of those guys be the ones to be let go, and then Chelsea bring in a Rice or Tchouaméni or Jude Bellingham as well. Don't forget Jude Bellingham's there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if Saul works out, he delays the move for one of those guys for another season.
Okay. Possible. All right, so with the Declan Rice thing, obviously next summer we've got to still keep our eyes on that, because I imagine West Ham won't be asking for anything like 100 million. Do you know how much more time he's got left on his contract, actually?
He's still got a while. On his contract. I think it's something like 3 years with an option. Or is it 2 years with an option to extend? So he's still got a minute on his contract.
So they've tied him down good.
They tied him, exactly. They tied him down he literally signed that contract, I believe, once they secured their place in the Prem because they were battling for relegation, Lampard's first season. Leave Chelsea, they beat us and went on a run. Do you get what I mean? So it was horrible for them. They beat us at the Queen Elizabeth Stadium. They beat us 3-2, was it? And then they went on a run from there, and they remained in the Premier League. Innit? That's basically what happened. And after that, they tied him down to a new contract. Game over.
Well, that's either bad advice from his agency or brilliant bit of business from the board at West Ham. I'll let the West Ham fans decide that, and Declan Rice will see whether he comes to regret that decision later on in his career. But in terms of our transfer window in comparison to some other teams, because obviously the main stories being Cristiano Ronaldo, then Varane and Sancho all signing for Manchester United. Now, how do those three signings for you? Do you think that changes anything in terms of us being favourites for the league? Because I strongly still believe, regardless of them three, that we are still the favourites to win the league.
Yeah, we are. Man United didn't exactly. See, the difference between Man United, although Man United's window was brilliant, if you're just talking about in terms of names, brilliant. They got a world-class centre-back. You've already seen in that game versus Wolves how good Varane is. Varane was the centre-back that I wanted to buy at Chelsea because he's literally that good, isn't it? They got Varane, big name, world-class centre-back. They got Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the GOATs. Who else did they bring in? Did they bring in it? They brought in Jadon Sancho as well. Brilliant. Another, class up-and-coming talent as well. They filled in 3 great positions, although I don't think their striking position necessarily need filling in right now. I thought maybe they could have waited another season. One thing they didn't seem to fix was their DM position. Do you get what I mean? So in essence, although they brought in some great names, great talent, great players, they didn't address all their priorities. Do you get what I mean? That's the difference between Chelsea and Man United. We might not have brought in, the most fancy names like Man United did, but we addressed our issues and we addressed what essentially needs filling in. That's where Chelsea did better than Man United.
No, 100%. I've got to agree. And obviously, we look at Manchester City as well, the bit of business that they done with Jack Grealish. The fact that they failed to address the striking position. Yeah, I think that one was just bad management on terms of recruitment. So the recruitment have to look at themselves for that. Put all their chips for Harry Kane. That didn't work out. Then they tried the audacious move for Ronaldo, which obviously triggered Manchester United into buying him, which is another thing that I wanted to say. I've asked a few people this, but this might be stating the obvious. But do you feel that Ronaldo was ever in Manchester United's transfer plans? Or do you think that it was kind of a bit of a stick up from Mendes to sort of say, well, if you don't take him, we're going to take him to Man City. What's it going to be?
I do think City negotiated with him, spoke to him. I just feel like maybe Man United came in last minute and hijacked the deal. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, it must have, because just the thought of him going to that side of Manchester would have been a catastrophe for them PR wise. But yeah, aside from that, I don't really see anybody else looking stronger than us. Obviously, we proved the point over there at Anfield as well. A brilliant point. Now we got 45 minutes, 10 men at Anfield, full capacity stadium as well. So that's not an easy thing to do. So that definitely, to me, said, yeah, there's nobody better than us in the Prem. So how would you rate this transfer window out of 10?
I would say an 8 out of 10. An 8.
Because we addressed the positions that obviously needed to be addressed, and we also addressed them with quality. So yeah,
it would have been a 10. I would have given it a 10 if it was Deckers or Chouameni. But a Saul loan move, a bit unpredictable. That's the only reason why I give it an 8. But still, it's still a good move. The Saul loan move is still a good move, but it's a bit unpredictable. We don't know what Saul we're gonna get or how he's gonna work out. But in that sense, and also the reason why I rate it so highly as well is the outgoings. So we finally got Drinkwater. He's gone. He's no more returning to Chelsea. Bakayoko is very likely he's no more returning to Chelsea because it was a 2-year loan with an obligation to buy. So it's looking like he's gone. Zappacosta, he's gone. Do you get what I mean? Although Barkley's still here, because I feel like Barkley's the only one left. Although he's still here, we got rid of majority of him, innit?
Yeah.
But I'm sure maybe in January or next summer, Barkley will be gone as well.
I think with Barkley as well, you see why I'm not really too fussed about him is the fact that we got him, well, in this market climate for next to nothing. I believe it was like £15 million or something like that.
Yeah. We literally got a loan move last season from Aston Villa and we got 11 mil for it. So
that's what I'm saying. So for like a permanent transfer, anything from 20 to 25 million even we're still laughing. It's still a win-win situation for us.
What surprised me though is the fact that we managed to get Drinkwater off the books. We couldn't get Barkley off. That surprised me.
Who took Drinkwater, by the way?
Reading. So they loaned him, but the thing is, he's out of contract at the end of the season. So they've loaned him, and obviously by the end of the loan, he is a free agent.
I mean, even that in itself, to pull off a loan move in the last year of a player's contract, and I imagine that obviously Chelsea is still going to recoup a little bit of a fee from that. That just goes to show, man, the business acumen at Chelsea. Listen, levels to this. Definitely the best in the world, in my opinion. I mean,
listen, I'm not going to take away that we did mess up in bringing these players in, but that happens, didn't it? But yeah, you're right. Getting rid of them was big. It was big getting rid of these players, man.
No, definitely. All right, well, Monster, thank you very much for joining us here on Man Knows Football. Again, hope to see you here soon sometime. And people, please follow Monster's social medias. Monster's channel will also be down there, so make sure you subscribe to that. Also, Man Knows Football as well. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, and keep up with the comments down there as well, man. We're very interested to hear your point of view. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Bless up.